Oh, well, I wasn't even recording that whole time.
What are you doing? Hi, people.
Where?
Wait, I need it. Where's my pencil? I need to write wanna come.
I got it. The pencil broke.
I got another one. Wait, come on. Daniel, that's what we saw on the video. Miss Daniel, you see that picture on the tree? That picture on the tree. We saw that in one of the videos.
Can I
Hi, people.
You left the, I know.
Hello, this is our tour. So. Can I record them? Please. Ooh.
There's one stump here. Please only sit on one stump at a time. That way there's enough places for everyone to sit.
Alright,
remember, those of you who are moving up,
I'm trying to just stand.
by walking down. Otherwise, it's long to get out here. I apologize. I do walk fast. Now, as you're walking back, remember I asked you guys, use your imagination. I'm going to be asking you all day to use your imagination. We're going back in time. This whole recreated village is created on a time period called the woodland period of American woodland period. That is, I need y'all to sit over here. You're going to trust me on this. You're going to see everything. We're going to see everything. Just give me a minute. You're not going to leave anything out. The time period is from like 1000 BC to 1600. 1600 is the contact period when the Europeans came. So, using our imagination, back in time, right here in New Jersey, you have to imagine the forest was very thick. I would not be able to see a clear shot like that was. A hunter coming back would have to listen for the pounding of the corn to know where the village was. It would be so thick with trees. Also, back in time, I already said to one young lady who asked me, were there any horses here before the Europeans? No. No horses. Were there cows? No. Goats? No. Pigs? No. So, they did have animals we don't have today. We had wolves. We had a really big animal, looks sort of like a deer, but a lot bigger, called an elk. And I'm telling you, they are huge. I had no idea how big they were until I went out to Wyoming this summer. They're as big as a moose, and moose are like this tall. So they're big. So we had elk. Now we had things that we're still here today, of course, like chipmunks, and squirrels, and skunks, and possums, bears. All that stuff was here. All right? Porcupines. Now, this is what the lifestyle was like. And we're back in time to the woodland period, right up to 1600, when they learned to make a garden. That was great news because they no longer depended on following herds of elk or deer for food, because now they could grow food. Not only did they gather food, like berries and nuts and acorns to eat, but they also learned to plant food to grow. There are 3 crops, you may have heard of them, that worked in harmony together, and they're called the 3 sisters. Not a singing group, it's 3 crops that work in harmony together. Some of them are shown right here. Number 1 crop of the 3 sisters, what is it? Corn. here's the advantage of that. The corn stalk, as you can see, grows up straight and tall. The next crop of the Three Sisters, what is that? I know you guys are vegetables, so I know you.
Green bean.
The bean is a vine and needs something to climb up. So here's the stalk, nice and tall. The beans climb up that vine. So you see how they're working together already. The last thing to be planted, pumpkin is part of the squash family. These are squash. Pumpkin is a squash. That would be the third thing planted. And the squash leaves are real big, broad leaves, and that would keep down the weeds and the insects. The other thing that's different in the way they garden from what we call today farming, they had a little mound. There'd be, I don't know if you can see this, like here's an example. You can see clearly it's a mound of dirt. The mound, a mound here, a mound here, a mound there, no straight rows, mounds. So everything with the gardening is planted in a mound of dirt. A mound is like a little hill. And the first thing to be planted would be what? Corn.
Corn.
The corn. Second thing to be planted would be what?
Green beans.
Beans. And the last thing to be planted would be what?
Squash.
Okay, and they had other things that they planted too. Those were called the Three Sisters. Very important crops that were so important to the Lenape. They also planted tobacco. Big tobacco leaves. Now, we're going to talk about tobacco later. It wasn't like tobacco today. It was only smoked in their pipes for ceremonies. And it was believed to be a spiritual plant. And tobacco repels insects. Did you know that? All right. I know that you guys have noticed the little girl up there, didn't you?
Yes.
And you were all so polite. You didn't say, "Who is that?" You were waiting for me to tell you, weren't you?
Yeah.
Thank you for being so polite. You're a great girl. So that girl has a title called guardian of the garden. So a guardian is someone who guards and takes care of something, right? She's guarding it against animals. Your little baby. I didn't have to go to Sticks R Us to get it. I got it from one of these trees. And the tip was used simply. I can stand here and I take that end and I can just dig it into the ground and drop my seeds in, or I can use it to hit weeds or whatever. It's called a diggle hoe. Now this looks like what you use to do what with the leaves?
Rake the leaves.
So it looks like a rake, yes? This looks like what?
A rake.
A hammer, doesn't it? That's what they do. Interesting shapes. So all they needed was a stick, another piece of wood, and cordage. We're going to talk about it. It's not, we cheated. You can see we cheated. We got this from Home Depot. Don't tell anybody. But they had.
They got that from where?
Natural. We're going to talk more about cordage. They could have used the sinews from the later deer. If they used strips of rawhide. The deer hide.
It's the Lenape. You don't buy stuff.
Talk about. So this is a rake, and this one is my favorite. It's used like a hoe, but this is made of the shoulder blade. It's a real bone. It's made from the shoulder blade of that animal. It's really big. So I told you it used to be here. Who remembers? Elk. That's right. You can touch it if you want, but you don't have to sharp part. It's real bone. You can see that's real bone. So by now you're probably figuring out the Lenape people. They also lived in harmony with nature, yes? And every part of an animal, if they could use it, would be used for something.
You got that from Home Depot too?
Not the bone, no, not the stick, no, we made that. Just the twine, because we didn't have the natural cordage. You see how that's real bone? Isn't that, now you can tell everybody you touched an elk bone. And they'll wonder where you were. All right, now.
Beautiful, silky.
They had probably 6 or 7 types of corn. They even had one that was popped, a lot like popcorn. But basically, they had to grind the corn first.
Now she had to come over
The
here.
jawbone of a deer, scrape the corn off the cob. Once you have a big pile of corn, grind it into a flour. Make one of these, which is a corn cake. Make one of these. They probably needed to add something because they didn't have cows, they didn't have butter or milk, right? But they did have bears, and as you know, bears have a lot of fat. Bear
You got an X on it.
together. We need to learn to grind corn. Your job, you guys that are going to school in Lenape, your school was to learn what the adults do. So behind you, you're going to see mortar and pestle and corn inside. There's a technique for grinding corn. I recommend you hold two hands and bang it like this, not hard, because when you do it hard, the corn jumps out. So get groups of two, and everybody get near a mortar and pestle. We're going to grind corn.
Groups of two.
Make sure there's nobody's fingers in there when you do it. You don't have corn in there. There's no corn in there.
Stop that, not that corn.
It's supposed to have been in there.
That's not what you do. You gotta go on the cheese part. Do it. I cheese gotta go with when I mean, when I cheese so. Fumi, go with monachiso.
And if you don't want to, there's one over there.
She said groups of two though. Why are you touching? It's supposed to be corn. I think I see corn. That yellow thing. Oh yeah. It's not. This is it's real corn in here. Right there, corn skin. Corn skin. Corn skin. It's not corn. It's corn skin.
How come we don't do it?
Yeah, corn skin in here. I got it. I need some. I get that. Man.
Jeremiah? I don't think that's how you're supposed to do it. You're going to hurt somebody. I don't know.
Look at the white stuff. There's white stuff in here. All over. Go in it.
Grind up into powder. Flour.
We're having corn for dinner. I want you to go out there.
I think it was supposed to be. This is candy corn. This is what they make out of candy corn. This candy corn. Dang, I read. Hey, I want some candy corn. Mia, she said we're gonna go. Oh, snap! No! We can go inside. She said when she comes back. Yes, she can go my back. Oh, you missed piano.
I probably did already. Not again.
Daddy, I bet you did already.
Not again, though.
Okay, my turn.
He said don't do it too hard.
It's jumping out.
See, that's you.
I'm not doing it that hard.
Oh, you better. Well, be honest. This is not, that's it. This is not a play.
No playing around here. Let's all stop. Put all the more. I know that. No, don't do that. fishing fire.
Come on, she had using the
Station. You want to miss fishing fire and never hit it? You gotta get back.
Go so fast. I can't swim. I literally can't swim.
Neither
Don't
can.
look down then. Look that way. Stop looking down. She pushed me.
Step back and don't touch the railing. We have people that forget, lean on it, fall through, get hurt. No, don't touch the railing, okay?
Come on, Miss Anna.
What did you say not to do?
Don't touch the railing.
Touch the railing.
Again, I apologize for that corn issue. If you see that little boy out there on the water,
Look at that guy out there, y'all.
right there.
He ain't got no shorts on.
I need you all to look over here. Look over. Hey, focus over here. Don't lean on that. The only way to get around back there is to walk or so that is very important. Transportation. Okay, guys?
Yeah,
Another word is transportation. That was a way of getting from place to place. So that was a key form of transportation, and it helped them with fishing. We're going to not touch that. Now, fishing nets was one way of fishing. You might have a fishing net. If you see there's parts of what looks like a fence in the water, that's called a fishing weir. I need you all to be quiet and listen, please, or I'll stop talking. You'll learn more that way. And you can write down a little later. If you're too busy worrying about writing it when I'm talking, you're going to miss something else. So I'll give you time at the end to write. But anyway, the fishing weir is like a fence in the water. It sticks up and it blocks, it goes under the water, it blocks the fish from going to the sides and funnels them down into an opening. At that opening, I have this is a fish trap. The fish can swim in, they can't swim back out the way it's designed. That was another way, or they could have used nets. Now, he is also fishing with a spear. I'll show you what that spear would look like. Fishing spear, like everything else, it's got to be made from everything natural. So this would be what? Made out of what? Bone, probably sharp deer bone would be used for the spear, and wood and cordage. So, they also had a torch they could make, and they always had fire. We didn't have enough people to have somebody watch the fire. We would have a fire going for you today. So fish and fire were very important. Now here's a real important connection. After you catch the fish, what are we doing with these fish over here? We're cooking them. Yes, very good. This one is a freshwater shellfish. It's called a mussel. They would gather a bunch of these up and have like a clam bake, but these were very tasty. Sometimes they would trek down to the ocean and get saltwater shellfish. And what about frogs? Did they eat frogs? Yes. What about crayfish? That look like individual oxen. Did they have any eggs? Did you see the geese when they came down? Oh, you think they figured out a way to get eggs? You got it. They had eggs. They used the birds for the feathers, for the punching with their arrows, for their decorations. They used everything, every part whenever they could. But now, how the heck did they make that new? Because this is what they had for a tool. Think about it. If I'm going to chop down this tree with this, this is not very sharp. It's not metal. This is what they had: wood, stone. Like boy. Think about it. Anyway, there's a trick. I'm going to teach you the trick. You had to know. What do you think it was? They had to cut through the bark. They used fire. It like it's been charred up to here?
Yes.
Yes. Fire is very important. They would take deer skin, wrap it around, soak it in water, wrap it around here and light a fire here and burn the wood. They burn it, they'd hack away at it, they'd burn it. Well, the weight of the tree would fall over in time. That's what they did. Even to make the inside of the dugout, they didn't have to dance like this, making friction down there, right? I would have something that's easy to catch fire, like the fluff from the cattail. Have it near there, so if I get a spark, I can get a little, you know? That was one way. They had other ways. I'm going to show you. They had a bow drill, which is not out, but they had something called a pump drill. I'm going to show you how to use it. And this one's, I'm going to fix this one. And after I show you how to use it, oh boy. Okay. Then I'm going to let you get in groups of 2 or 3 and try to do it. Try not to get frustrated. It's not something you pick up the first time you try. Did you hit the basket with a basketball or ride your bicycle the very first time you tried?
No.
Some may have, but
When I had training
I didn't. So here's how you do this.
Well, when I did it,
I'm holding it here because I don't want this to go up like this, okay? I don't want that because it won't work then. I hold it like this. It's not like that. It's level. Here's the hardest part. Find a level spot of ground. We're on a hill. It's going to be very hard to find a level spot. The next step, wind it up. The next step, squat down. If I can squat down at my age, trust me, you can. The next step is to let your hand go like gentle, like a yo-yo. The string has to wind itself back up. Now, where would they do this? On the ground? We're going to do it on the ground. No, they would do it on that wood like the other one. This twisting makes friction. And I have something that would make a fire. So don't actually make a fire out there, okay? Don't do that. Get in groups of 2 or 3. I'm going to pass these out to groups of 3.
They do DNA for that. I'm not recording you. How are you even recording?
How did you do it? No, we did it right. The 2 times. Oh, let me. No, it's like this.
Anybody need help?
Yes. Me. You have to go like this.
You can't hold the top now. You can't hold the top while you're twisting it, guys. I'll show you. You gotta hold this here where it's not touching the string. There you go. Now, you're on a hill. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna show you that right now. Put them right here. Squat down right in front of you. Go on. Put it down. Don't wait on it.
Oh, word.
So to build a shelter or wigwam, and it's pronounced wigwam. Can you say wigwam? Wigwam. Not wigwam, but wigwam. Wigwam. That's right. Lesson again. So wigwam is a small little hut made of tree bark. To make one, and by the way, once you learn, if you have a nice backyard, you can make one of your backyard to be a playhouse. Because once you learn how to do it, you don't even have to buy anything. Use everything in nature like the Lenape did. The first thing you need is a framework, right? Even if you're going to build a house, you need a framework. Because this is a house. So to get a framework, you're going to find saplings. You know what a sapling is?
Yeah.
It's a baby tree.
From a tree. It's like a bark.
That would be a sapling.
They use it for sticks.
There's a sapling over there.
What's used about a sapling?
How do you get sapling?
By putting, and they gotta drill a hole in it.
They don't have drills back in the Indians?
Yeah, but they use like sticks. They use sticks or
Okay.
Once you cut enough saplings to make the framework, you have to anchor them into the ground. Now you might use the pump drill to make the hole. You sharpen the end of the sapling. Let's say this is a big long sapling, okay? I sharpen the end, I anchor it into the ground, then I bend the top over for the framework, and then I need to tie it. And to tie it, I need something called cordage. Cordage could be strips of hide like this.
That's real?
What are you doing? Why are you guys putting your footprints to mess with the tape?
So what did we say could be used to tie things?
Quarters.
Which could be strips of deer hide, right? Something else that I can't show you is babies go like 8, 9, 10 times. You have to. Today's babies, you got to change them like 8 times a day, don't you? You don't want to waste all that deer skin. You know how hard it is to get the deer skin. We're going to learn about that after lunch. So they didn't want to use deer skin. But down by the water, those cattails that are growing, when they turn to seed, this is very soft, very absorbent. And the mother would put this up where the baby goes, and when it's soiled, she'd throw it on the ground, and it would grow more diapers. So it's clean, it's soft, absorbent, and she put it up there on the ropes. Now, if I give it out to you, there won't be any for the next class, but I'll give you a little bit. It's going to blow everywhere, trust me. I'll give you a little bit, pass it around. You pass this, now you pass it.
You see him.
Up until now, an animal, so he can camouflage, and when he gets down low, another animal will think it's just another animal, and not a hunter. His bow and arrow he had to make himself. He probably would have used sinew for the string of the bow. He would have used feathers from the duck or the turkeys for the fletching of the arrows. Sharp stones could be arrowheads. Sharp bones could be arrowheads. But everything was made himself. Over here, I have a snare set up. Purposely made it green so you could see it. It would not be green. Sinew is going to be like milky colored, right? Like milk. Not quite white. Sort of yellowish white. If you know what I'm talking about. Not green. We made green so you can see what I'm doing. What? I'm going to try to explain. How you'd use a snare. You have a loop here, made in here, so that I place this. Wait till I finish my answer question before you start. Place this under the corn, right? This is my catch device. I'm going to try to demonstrate to you without hitting myself in the face. Because I hate it when I hit myself in the face. But let's pretend I'm a turkey. Go, 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 go. I come up here, I trigger this, and I pull this like, whoop, like that. Okay, I'm a dead turkey now. And you caught the turkey around the neck. It doesn't have to be a turkey. It could be a gopher, it could be a rabbit, it could be a squirrel, it could be a bear. Can't catch a bear with this.
Deer?
I'm going to show you how to catch a bear in a minute. But I want you just to listen. The animals that you can catch with a snare, smaller animals, some birds.
Get up, Ashley.
Now every arrow,
Look at your pants now. It's all dirty.
didn't necessarily have an arrowhead point.
Tie your shoelace.
Because if you're going to get a bird that's only this big like a quail, you didn't want it to be all messed up by an arrow. You would have a blunt tip of the arrow, maybe just rawhide, deer hide, so it hit the bird in the head, knock him out, but the bird would still be in one piece. It wasn't a mess. Does that make sense? Now, they'll not be very smart. They're very smart people. They're very observant. They observe the animals. They might watch the turkey. You know where turkeys sleep at night? Up in the trees, right? They would watch and see where the turkey sleeps at night, and then they could get them while they're up in the tree. That's how smart they were. But the snare is good for any small animals like rabbits, which taste pretty good. Not much fat on them, but they taste pretty good. And small animals like that. Now over here, we have a big animal. This is a small representation of an animal that can be 400, 600 pounds easily. I've seen a 600-pound bear in my yard. I know how big they are. This is called a deadfall. Now I know if you watch those videos, you know about a deadfall, right? We have these big, heavy logs perched precariously on, very easy to knock it down, on one little tiny thinner log. The bait is hung here. It could be corn, it could be meat. Bears are omnivorous. They eat meat and vegetation, just like you and I do for the most part, right? Well, when the bear pulls on that, you know what's going to happen, don't you?
It's going to fall.
Those big heavy logs will fall. If the hunter is lucky, it may knock the bear out. Got it. That was awesome. You are my champion.
Annie.
It's not easy. That was close. The first person got it right in there. It's not easy. You got skills, my friend. You really are skilled. It helps if you aim. Take time to aim. It always helps if you aim. Put your little notebooks away now so that you have your hands free. Try not to hit him. Very good.
Hey, I didn't. I was in front of you. No, but you were out of line.
Oh, so close. Very close. Yeah, that's
Ashley.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, one foul.
You're not supposed to hit the chaperone. They won't want to chaperone the next trip if you hit them.
And in the basket too? None of my guys made it. What's up? You didn't go yet. It's good.
Okay, back up out of the way. Everybody out of the way. Everybody out of the way.
It's one right there.
It's okay.
Another
We don't
one.
have to get them all. Very close. Are you up already? No, sorry.
Sometimes don't aim just
Very close.
Oh, she was good.
That was good.
What's up? Oh my goodness. None of my Super 8 guys are going to make it. Huh? Super 7 guys.
All right, let me have to make it back to back.
Together. Super 7 together. Super 3 together. What? No Super 7 saying over there.
Thank you guys for being sure and listening. I really appreciate it. Before I talk about clay, and our gift to you is you will each get your own piece of clay to make something. Something that's made already, like a dugout canoe, a turtle. And
That's clay?
That's this too. I want to tell you a story. I want to tell you a story about the legend. So everyone get just in case, last year, I'm going to ask you, like, I asked you to put your hands up, hold your hands up for me. So then you put your hands down. Okay, now I'm going to say all right. Now, long time ago, way before the Europeans came, there was a young boy that married two young girls. And they got married, and about a year later, they had a little baby. You don't get that.
Pick it up.
Yeah, I'm going to ask for idle hands all together. There you go. Okay, now. And I felt so happy. You know what felt more than now? Let's say there's a turtle girl. Okay, we've got a wolf, boy marries a turtle girl. Are you with me on this? Yes. They have a baby.
It's big. Yes. It's black and big.
So,
About Vision Quest. You may be reading books about Vision Quest. Vision Quest is, I'm going to use a big term here, so I'm going to just explain what that means. The big term I'm going to use is called rites of passage. Rites? R-I-T-E-S of passage. That is a ceremony. This lady over here is the Nent Pike. N-E-N-T-P-I-K-E. Nent Pike. She's like an herbalist. An herbalist that knows more about the plants and what medicines to get from the plants than anybody else. Okay? A lot of the medicines we have today came from plants. Aspirin is the inner bark of the willow tree. That's where it came from. It's very similar. Somebody dropped some paper here.
oh my goodness.
Stop me.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's not big. I thought it was big.
Oh, listen. The black woman distracts me. I don't know.
It looks lit over here.
There, what do you think? No, it's bigger than a chipmunk.
What?
You know that. You knew that too, didn't you? Very few people know this. Hey, who's the one to get away? Listen, did you know the possum is a marsupial? That means an animal that has a pouch, has its babies in a pouch. Like the kangaroo, but kangaroos are in Australia. It's another continent, Oceania. It's the only marsupial in North America. How do you like that? Now I know I don't have to tell you what animal this is.
Yes. Cow?
They have cows in Lenape. That would have been a good guess. Yes.
Deer?
Yes.
A deer.
This is the very common. You see them everywhere here because nobody's hunting them. White-tailed deer. Now, what did the Lenape make their clothing out of? Possums or deer skins? Yes. Yes, deer skins. No outbursting. I'm not going to acknowledge outbursting. The possum is too little to make clothing out of, isn't it? Now, you have a question?
Wouldn't they have those other bigger ones? Wouldn't they have made them go down?
Well, remember how I showed the hunter hat? They might use that to cover a hunter, you know, when he's hunting to make him disguise. But their choice, number one choice for clothing, deer hide or elk hide. Now elk is really big.
Those are the big animals.
Big animal, I'm telling you. I wish I could show you a real elk because they're huge. They have them in Wyoming. Now, here's the thing. Remember I said the hunter may have to go 10 miles away to find the deer? Remember that part? Then he's got to bring it back, maybe 10 miles on his shoulders. That's already a lot of work, isn't it? Nobody here that I know of can go out with a bow and arrow or a spear, kill a deer, and carry it back 10 miles, right? Keep your feet still, please. Thank you. So now, the next step in making clothing is we got to get the skin off the deer. How are they going to do that? You've got to be polite. Now, when she's talking, there's too much noise here otherwise. And I'm getting my throat's sore from yelling. That was me. Listen. You will learn something. Go ahead. How do they get the skin off the body?